open.org today. Together, we can help end poverty for good.
Twin Cities Con returns to the Minneapolis Convention Center for their 5th year, November 7th through the 9th. Twin Cities Con is a celebration of comics, toys, TV, film, art, cosplay, games, and all things nerdy. There's nothing like Twin Cities Con. It's also a family-friendly event where you can meet your favorite celebrities, browse the vendor hall and artist alley for the coolest merch, watch celebrity Q&As, and even more. Twin Cities Con is bigger and better than before. Come see from the Star Wars universe Ahmad Best, Rosario Dawson and Giancarlo Esposito, Brendan Fraser, and the cast of The Mummy, WWE Wrestling Hall of Famers Sting and Mick Foley, and the voice actors from the hit Disney series Phineas and Ferb, plus more guests to be announced. 3 days of action-packed fun in the heart of Minneapolis at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Tickets start at $50. Kids' tickets are just $10 for the entire weekend. VIP tickets also available, including a 3-day weekend pass, plus some really cool VIP perks. More guests will be announced. Buy your tickets and get more information at TwinCitiesCon.com.
Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for clear skies tonight with a low around 39, Wednesday sunny with a high near 65, and Thursday sunny with a high around 67. Experience live music like never before at Crooner's Supper Club. Enjoy top-tier performances in the main stage showroom, Dunsmore Jazz Room, or Under the Stars at the Belvedere. Plus, Maggie's Piano Lounge is always open with no cover charge. Find more details at croonersmn.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story, this is our story. This is GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun.
And this is GhostBox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We're going to get right to this here. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. It's very exciting. As we've had Miss Char Savoie on a number of times on the program, I've known Char for a number of years. I mean, this goes back at minimum 10 years, if not even a little bit further. And we've gone to Paracons together. As time goes on, we've been able to take part in investigations. Definitely would go to and run events at locations that she worked at, and we just really hit it off. And we did ghost stories last Wednesday, and what was really interesting about it was that that Char had mentioned that it was 15 years from the time she went to her first location where she knew was a haunted location, going there and experiencing a haunted location. And I just thought to myself, thinking about her journey, I just think to myself, I think it's first of all, I think it's worth celebrating, quite frankly, because it's very exciting. And I also think too, it's worth talking about how you take that. You start off as a paranormal investigator. She still is a paranormal investigator. That doesn't change, but she has found her own path and her own passion and what she wants to do, and she's doing it. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how that journey takes place. There's some events coming up we want to talk about as well. And I'm just really, really excited. And there's, there's good things ahead. And I'm I'm in a really good mood to talk about it all tonight. So, we've had her on so many times before, and it's fantastic. She is the founder of Charvinity, also of Charvinity Fairs, and there is one coming up the 18th and 19th. We're going to be talking about that. Miss Char Savoie, welcome to GhostBox Radio.
Hey, thanks for having me back again. It's always been so much fun to be here, and I'm excited. This is kind of cool. And thank you for doing this. I didn't expect this.
Well, and that's just it, though. It's there's been over the last couple weeks, I've been, complaining, and that's rare for me, of course. But I've been complaining about just kind of stuff that's going on in the field that I'm not super happy about personally, and I have that right to do so to a certain degree. But it's also fun to celebrate the successes, the people who enjoy it, the people who are still they're still in awe of it, and they themselves have grown. And I think maybe we'll start with what we're talking about at the beginning here, that first place that you went to that was haunted, that kind of cemented what you wanted to do. Do you want to talk about that a little bit and where that was at?
Yeah, so I'll say it was the first place I went on purpose. Let's put it that way.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So it was the Stanley Hotel. Go big or go home, right? So I had the opportunity to be out in Colorado, and I was like, oh, I want to go to the Stanley. And this was shortly after Ghost Hunters had been there, and their show came out, and that's kind of was a catalyst to me changing my mind about all of this. And I was really curious, and I wanted to go, and they were offering a 5-hour overnight investigation. I thought, well, what better way to jump in than to do that? So That's what I did. I signed up alone, but I wasn't alone. I was with a group, but I went by myself to the group, and I had some really great experiences. I got touched. We had a little rock thrown at us, across the floor, a door shut, voices, all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, what the heck is happening here? What is this? And it was my fear turned into curiosity at that point. Yep. And I was like, I got to know more. I've got to figure this out, and I've got to get over this fear, because I just don't want to be fearful anymore. So one thing led to another, and a bunch of friends were curious as to what happened when I was there. And we started a paranormal team, and we started doing investigations, and that's kind of the beginning of it all.
I think it's worth noting that you're talking to a paranormal investigator when they say a good night includes getting rocks thrown at you and being touched. I think that's something to definitely make sure that you take note of. So yeah, there is that. So you got rocks thrown at you, and
just a little one.
The thing is, that is important though, because
it is.
The amount of energy it takes to throw any kind of pebble or whatever is incredible.
Right. And it's in an inside locked building. Where the heck did this rock come from?
Right. Spirits sometimes just keep a bunch of them in their pockets, So when you, like you said, once you came back for the Stanley, you decided you joined up with friends. Were these people that you knew, or was it an existing group that you joined into, or did you all just kind of converge and it just kind of happened?
It was actually a bunch of work people that were really curious about me going out there, and we started talking about it when I got back, and none of us had talked about the paranormal at all. It never came up until that point. And so we're like, what? You're into this? What? And so we all kind of started talking, and it was easy for us to talk because we all worked together. And then we were just like, well, maybe we should do this, and started researching how to do it. And what do we do? We didn't know what to do, but we kind of were asking questions, asking some of the other teams in the area. And that's where it started. So then we started doing investigations.
Do you remember your first investigation as a team then?
I think it was the Palmer House.
As it happens, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was the Palmer House. So it was either that or St. Anthony, Maine. I can't remember. They're really close together. So it was one or the other.
And you can't go wrong with either, to be honest.
Right.
They're both incredibly active, and luckily you could still get into the Palmer House and do events and do investigations. St. Anthony, Maine, I think they still do the real ghost tours, but I think when you and I were down there doing our stuff down there, and we didn't even know each other at that point. There was were you doing it through Real Ghost Tours when you were doing it?
Yeah. Yep. With Kurt. Yep.
Yeah, and see, for me, it wasn't Kurt, it was, Nicole and Melton. And the thing was, it was like, they would let you, the tours would take place wherever they didn't have like a business in, or it was being one of the many times it was being remodeled. So there was a lot of area for us to cover there. And I've always considered that was my practice grounds. That's, every single week I'd go out there on a Saturday night, and we would just use our equipment, practice our craft, and got people who would either be really excited by what we're doing, or they would do their own thing. And it was a lot of fun. And do you think when you're starting off in something like this, and having it be a part of your life for so long now, do you look back at some of those early moments and you kind of long for that? Because there's kind of the way I look at it is, I'm still at a point of I don't know nearly enough, and I'm learning, and it's all very exciting and new. But by no means do I know everything in the paranormal, not by a long shot, obviously, but it was so much simpler back then. And I do miss that a little bit.
Yeah, I would say the simplicity of it all, for sure. Like, being fascinated that a flashlight would turn on, that was like woo, which is, it's still kind of woo woo, but it's like that was like a big deal. And now it's like we're just like way beyond that. We're like, let's warp time and let's enter dimensions and portals and all that stuff.
Stuff that only Suzanne would talk about, and we'd all be like, well, what on earth is it? But now it's like not on her level, but
Right.
we're doing, we talk in those terms and stuff. And there's something really fun about that. I mean, do you remember, this is getting very granular, do you remember your first EVP?
Oh,
This is a great interview, by the way.
I know. I
do you remember? Nope, I don't remember any of it. Sorry.
I don't remember the very first one. I don't remember what that was exactly, but I remember getting some at the Palmer House, and it was like, oh my God, like, we didn't say that. Who said that? And it was kind of like crazy. And I think the first, like, those are things that we found out later, but like the first thing that happened is we were all sitting in the lobby, and we had the lights off, and then the lights on the stairway stay on. And we were talking about playing with the kids or something. And the lights at the stairway got super bright. Like, they really illuminated. And so that was like my first, like, holy crap, what just happened? Like, I can't explain that, So I think that was the first, like, oh my gosh moment.
Yeah, and also speaking of lights, and speaking of the Palmer, I remember that, like, being down in the basement, and you're seeing like lights dance and stuff around, and it's like, like this, I'm here to believe this, but I can't believe this. It's so like, it's happening in front of my eyes. I can't even begin to explain that. I mean, when you look back and when you think about when you start, you must be like, I can't believe some of the stuff I've seen over the years.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. I mean, there were some pretty intense moments. I think, well, the Villisca episode, the one that we just did at Ghost Stories, that whole experience was very, very traumatic. And that was just like 3 or 4 months after the Palmer House. So that was like within like the first 8 months of us doing anything. And that was, I mean, if you're going to have like the world fall in on you as a paranormal investigator and doing it within your first year, that was it. And that was tough. I mean, I still struggle with that today, and it's been 14 years.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone to have an experience like that. And we've all heard a lot of stories from a lot of people, some very compelling stories, but that is, it's not fair, actually. It's so it's a pretty cruel sort of thing, really. And and did you think about it, folks? If you didn't come out to Ghost Stories on last Wednesday, you do miss out, because I don't ask Char to tell the story very often, because it is truly something that is it's not an easy story, and it's when you listen to all the recordings and you hear what they went through and how things could have turned out a lot different in a bad way, you could understand why we don't really go around on this. Last time that I had asked her to do this was 2 years ago?
Three.
It was 3 years ago, wasn't it? Yeah. Gosh.
And I hadn't listened to any of that since then. So when we were playing it last Wednesday, my stomach was just in knots, and I was having like anxiety, and I literally do have PTSD from that. That was pretty intense.
There's something about it that, it's weird how, I mean, everyone handles things differently, but people who do some of these investigations and go in some of these type of places and they kind of leave unscathed, it's just like, wow. And there's been a few for myself that you walk away and you're like, no more. Yeah. Never have I heard anything quite like that. Now, are you, I can't remember, because I think we talked about this at Ghost Stories, were you considering not doing it anymore after that?
Yeah, we kind of thought we're done. Like, that's it. We're done. Like, I don't think any of us thought we were going to do it again, but over time, I think we kind of put ourselves back together, and yeah, I don't know. That was intense. I can't even remember how long it took for us to do something after that. It was months.
Yeah. No, it's truly frightening, and and I don't know. I don't even know what more to say about that, other than it was a terrible situation for you all to have to go through, and I can understand. Like I've said, when I went to Villisca, and I had a very dark experience there, nowhere near what Char had, nowhere near. It took me about 6 months before I was even remotely interested in doing it anymore.
Yeah, it's and as you know, because you've known me for a while now, the universe is like, oh, you want to do that? Are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, because it makes no sense, and I'm gonna move away here from Villisca here in a second, because we don't want to do a retread on it for it's not a great story. It's a great story for people who've not lived through it, of like, oh my God, this is very interesting. Not a great story for those who did. Not a great situation. And what was the name of the team at that point? Because I know you were part of a couple.
We were called Freaks, Friends Researching Entities and Known Spirits.
Why do people do that? I just everyone always creates these paranormal team names that are all these acronyms and stuff, and very, very smart, very cute. I never was able to do that. I was never that interesting, I guess. I don't know. It's just like I've never I because there's a couple other teams out there that do that sort of thing too, where they have it
was the thing to do.
It was a thing to do, not to be confused with things. That is also a anagram of something else as well. So anyway, with that being said, I think we need to regroup here. What I'd like to do is I'd like to take a break here. When we come back, there's a point for Char that she decided to move more into mediumship, and I'd like to talk about that and maybe inspires others to do so as well. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com. Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information. And if you haven't done the Minneapolis Trolley Tours yet, I would highly recommend you doing so. It's as it happens, when you go to their site, you're going to see that they've actually they're no longer out of the 300 Clifton Mansion. They are now over at the Pillsbury Mansion, though there's still you can still get B&B over at 300 Clifton, which is a beautiful, beautiful location. But their new mansion's a thing, I guess, for them, and it's pretty amazing that their tours are coming out of the Pillsbury Mansion. And I've mentioned before, I've had the opportunity to walk through this place that all the interiors were brought over from the UK that date back to the 1400s. Yeah, there might be a little bit of energy in there, and it is absolutely wonderful. It is, with John and Norman doing restoration work on all this stuff, it's incredible. So just keep that in mind. MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com. We hardly ever talk about all the other types of tours they do, including true crime. So when you go to the site, check out all the stuff that they have on offer and really take advantage of it, because they do such a great job of these tours. They do such a great job of researching and backing up the research with articles and stuff. And then you have these wonderful experiences in these wonderful homes. You're going to enjoy it. And if you've done it before, make sure that you do it again, because there's a lot to see. And if you go out there, can you please let them know that you heard about it through GhostBox Radio? Because I just want them to know that we really, really support the work that they're doing. Now, something else coming up that we want to talk about real fast. Our guest tonight is Char Savoie. She is the founder of Charvinity. It's her company. But what she also does, which we've brought up a lot of times, is that she does Charvinity fairs in conjunction with Maria Shaw. The next one is coming up in just over a week, October 18th and 19th, and it's a little bit of a Halloween flair. Char, do you want to tell us what to expect on the 18th and 19th?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this, and I always love the Halloween win because, of course, I love Halloween. So it's a packed full of classes and lectures with Joe and Maria doing their schedule. It is on the website, and the meet and greet Saturday morning with the practitioners. They all come in, they tell you what they're doing. They all give a drawing away, either a free service, half off service, something while you're at the fair. There's giveaway bags for the first 20 people, both on Saturday and Sunday. And we have lots of amazing local readers and healers that are going to be there, and I'm super excited. We've got some new people coming this time too, which is going to be really fun. And if you come in costume, that's even better. And you'll just have to show up on Saturday to see who I am.
I was going to say, are you going out there in costume?
Heck yeah, you know me. Why would I not? Hello.
No, that's fun. That's really cool. It's and always it's a lot of fun out there. And I'm gonna have a table out there for that weekend as well. Really excited to see. And as we say every single time that one of the things I love about that is the energy of these fairs. There's just really it's relaxing, and there's a lot of great practitioners there as well. So yeah,
I think that's something that sets us apart a little bit, is because it's the same group of practitioners that come back every single time, and so we become family and friends, and we create like an energy vibe in the room just because we're all happy to see each other and we know each other, and it's just fun, and that's what makes it really cool, because it's like coming back home. It's like having a reunion with the practitioners, with Maria, and then with the attendees that come. It's just kind of like a big reunion. We just have a lot of fun.
Now, all the information, I mean, you can go to, you have it as an event on Facebook on Charvinity, right?
Yes.
And then you can also go to charvinityfairs.com and get all the information there as well, because it's over at, I'm blanking on the hotel.
It's the DoubleTree by Hilton's at 2020 American Boulevard, right across from IKEA.
I bet that's seared into your brain. The address.
Totally.
I love that hotel, actually. I think it's a very nice hotel, and you don't hear the planes going over, which is nice as well. And
well, depends on where if you have a hotel room, depends on where you're sleeping, because the first time I was right almost under the takeoff path, because it is right across the highway from the airport, so you do hear the planes take off at night.
Yeah, well, I just sleep in my car, so I don't actually. I just go home. Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. So we'll talk about that again a little bit. But one of the things we're talking about tonight is just kind of, one of the things I wanted to let people know too, because I get frustrated when people tell me they don't have a psychic bone in their body. And it's amazing how people who don't even know each other use that almost exact same terminology. I don't have a psychic bone in my body. And you don't with that kind of attitude. And when I met you, and I mean, probably one of my earliest memories of you would actually be the first time we met, which is at a Paracon. and at that point, you weren't doing mediumship work, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No. And I laugh because there's a Facebook post I made. I don't know what year, I can't remember what year it is. And I share it every year. And it's like, I don't know if I put much credit into psychics, not saying that they're bad, but I just don't see how that works, and blah, 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 blah. And then sure enough, like within a year or two later, I'm working at the Palmer House and doing the haunted tours and doing all this stuff. And all these psychics and mediums are coming in. These healers are coming in. They're telling me I have all these things and I could do all this. And I'm like, I said almost the same thing. Well, I think I said I'm about as psychic as a rock. This is what I said. So I was, but then it was the spirits were listening, and they were kind of like, oh, really? Hold my beer. Because the next thing I know, whoa, why are they talking to me? So the tours, I was doing the haunted tours in the basement, and it was all going fine. I do the history. We do everything we needed to do. And the next thing I know, I'm like, does anybody know a guy with dark hair, blah, blah, blah. And what the heck am I doing? It would just fly out of my mouth, and I couldn't understand what was happening. And I'm like, well, I guess that's a thing now.
Yeah, right. This is me now. I guess I do this now. So
I know, right?
Well, but weren't you seeing spirits at a younger age, or were you thinking that's?
So I did see a spirits in our house when I was little, probably under the age of 6. I remember seeing spirits, and I'd ask about who's the lady at the top of the stairs, and there was a guy, and my family was just like, oh, you have a really active imagination, don't talk about it. And I'd be like, these are telling me things. They're like, no, they're not. No, they're not. And it was more like, we don't do that here, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, shortly after that, my parents divorced. And so my mom thought that it would be really great for me to watch The Exorcist to teach me about all of that. Do not recommend that as a therapy. No. So no. So then I was absolutely terrified, and I would sleep with the lights on. I think I slept with the lights on until I was like in my 30s, because I turned the lights off, I would see shadows, and so, and I remember specifically saying, if I don't believe in you, I don't see you. And I would say that constantly. And now I don't get to see them because I think I shut that down so hard.
Sure.
But, so it was kind of, it was there. It just kind of got locked away for a while until, ironically enough, Ghost Hunters came out, and literally was terrified to watch the show, but I was curious. And then I was like, well, I don't know. They're making it sound like it's not so bad. And like, not every knock and bang is something from the movie that wants to take me away, so it just turned into curiosity after that.
And so when you start getting messages from spirits, like at the Palmer House and stuff, was there a point that you were just like, well, I can do this, but that's just kind of a sideline here? Or was at that point where you're just like, okay, if I can do this, then maybe I should become a medium, or I should start leaning towards that way?
No. I was just like, well, this is just an extra bonus that you paid for now that you're in the dark in the basement with me. So I don't know. And, and I would watch like Suzanne and all these other people come, and they're just like phenomenal. And I'm like, I could never do that. There's no way I could do that, and so I didn't really get into it for a really long time. Like, 5 years after that, I think. And I started off just doing Reiki and energy healing, and I was just, I'm fine with just doing this. This is okay. I'm good with this. And then I got, kind of mentored into doing like readings, and I'm like, I don't know about that. And then it just kind of flowed from there. So I had some really supportive people along the way that really kind of helped me believe in myself and get me out there. So.
Did you feel like that, was there like an aha moment then, or was it more just a gradual, like next thing you know, this is really actually now a big, this is becoming my life?
I don't know. There wasn't like one moment that stood out, I don't think.
Yeah.
It was just kind of, was it. It just was a thing. And I'll be honest, like every time I had to do a reading, there was a little bit of like, stage fright kind of feeling. And I had to calm it down every time. And so I don't know. It just kind of was a thing. It just happened. But I realized there were certain things that I could do to help calm myself down, to be more in the zone. And I would focus really hard on that and just kind of like not let the anxiety get me. But I don't know. It's never been just like super easy where I can just sit down and go, hey, blah, 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 blah. I have to like sit and like get past that nervousness first.
And it feels like that there's so much, I don't know. I'm trying to think because I had something here and I lost it. I lost everything. I have no questions for you anymore. We're gonna end the show. We're gonna end the show early tonight. No, I had it and it's gone. And I think that's old age is what I think that is.
Oh God, really? You're younger than me. You don't do that.
I know, right? It's fast deterioration. It was actually a very good question. I'm trying to remember because obviously it was about the mediumship side to it. I'll come back to it, but I have luckily I have a backup question. Do you think, and this is just an opinion question, do you think that people who say I do not have a psychic bone in my body or whatever they say, do they purposely say it because they do not want to have it? They do not want to have that gift?
No. I think they say it because they don't understand what it actually is. We all have intuition. You all have this part of you that says you should do this, you shouldn't do this, or like, oh, that's an idea. I'm going to like create that. Like you all have intuition. That's what your imagination is, part of that intuition. That's where you come up with ideas. That's where you get these like aha moments or, the deja vus or whatever. That's all part of that. And so we all have it. It's just a matter of like how much you want to tap into it. And you can tap into it hardcore and be really good at it and never go be a professional psychic or a medium or any of that stuff. Just use it to your advantage in life.
Yeah.
If you study how to read people, that's intuitiveness, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
intuition comes in many different forms. It's just it gets used stereotypically tabooish wise as far as like psychics go.
It is. I also feel too that not I mean maybe it still is the case, but certainly back when we really started doing this, 15 years ago or whatever, the idea of having a medium take part in an investigation at all was almost taboo in itself. And
Mhm.
and the idea of what investigators thought a medium was there for is laughable, actually. At the time of like, I remember one team just talking to one team like, yeah, it might be fine to have a medium with us if they can go over there and let us know if they felt a cold spot or something like that. And it's just like, wow, but that all stems back to the answer you just gave. They don't understand.
Right.
They
Right.
just didn't know. They didn't understand where that worked, what that line was. And I'm often critical of TV shows, but I think television is what made it more understandable for teams to collaborate more with mediums.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, and I credit Lorraine Warren for that. She was kind of one of the first psychics to be used on a TV show, I think, or at least that I saw.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, yes, it totally started the whole thing. Chip coffee was probably one of the second ones that was used,
Yeah.
And so it can be helpful. I mean, but again, everything is discernment. And this is the hard part I think people don't understand is, and even on a whole team of investigators, spirits are going to talk to whoever they want to. They're going to talk to who they resonate to. And even if me and you are out there talking to the exact same spirit, I'm going to get different information than you are, because I might feel something different than you do. They might feel something more that's familiar with me than with you, and we're going to get parts of a story, and we have to piece it all together. There isn't one person on a team that's going to get the full entire story. It's us all together piecing it together, because that's how it works. It's a puzzle.
And there's no such thing as seniority either. Just because somebody has been an investigator for 15 years, you can get somebody who's never actually done it before, and spirit decides that is the person that they want to communicate with.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. There is no such thing as having more experience means you have better communication with spirit. That's not how it works.
Absolutely. We found that out firsthand with the 18 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
if they're asking us, well, what do we do now? We're like, that was the Holy Grail. I don't know.
I also think of Callie over at the Grand House doing the spirit box experiment, and get no one's talking to us, and we hand the spirit box to her, and I think some gentleman took a shine to her spirit wise, and was just nonstop talking to her, and she became a trigger object.
That's how it happens. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's really, honestly, you have to let the egos out. You have to let the ego be outside of the location, and you have to let everybody have a part of it. You have to let everybody be able to decide what's relevant and what isn't relevant.
We should do a class on this stuff. I mean, wouldn't that be something, right?
We should make it 6 classes long, and then maybe we could take everybody on an investigation when it's over.
Well, that'd be fun, huh? Why haven't we thought of that before, huh?
I know, right?
Folks, we do that. Just so you know. Just so you know. When we get another one ready to go, we will post it so everyone knows, and I'll let everyone know, because honestly, you want to know about this stuff, and we've had people take the class who we've never seen again, and it's not because they don't want to talk to us. It's more of they're just curious about how it all works. They just want to know the background. It doesn't mean they want to be investigators. They want to know about paranormal, and they want to see what we do. And Dash says, sell me a ticket. And Dash, I don't know where you're located, but we do it online as well. So anywhere in the country. And once we have the new dates, we'll put it there. But one place that you should always check out for events and whatnot is charvinity.com. And that's where you can also see all the other classes that Char is offering. And you are very busy. You do offer like a lot of, you're always doing classes and stuff. So, it's really fun to see all the stuff that you're doing to try to help people, how to teach people. And, that's really what it becomes, is when you get to know something well enough, the way it should work is that you pass that information to other people, that you keep that chain growing of information.
And I think that's something that I want to touch on a little bit too, because I found in my experience when I started doing all of this, there was a lot of gatekeeping. I know this information, but I don't want to tell you all this information. Yeah. And I would ask simple questions like, well, how do you ground? And people were like, well, you just do. And I'm like, I just don't. So could you tell me? But they wouldn't tell me, So I'm like, I don't think it's fair. There should be no gatekeeping in any of this. If we're all truly one and it's all consciousness, whether it's paranormal or metaphysical, because it's the same dang thing. So there should never be that. So that's how I teach my classes. I'm going to tell you all the information. I'm probably going to information overload you because I want you to have all the details. I want you to learn the things that I learned the hard way so you don't have to. And do I know everything? Absolutely not. So I also don't want to be your only teacher because you need to learn from multiple people as well. Yeah. So that's the other thing. Don't ever put me on a pedestal because I'm just a person. I don't want to be idolized for anything. I just want to help you learn, and that's it. And I want to help you, support you on whatever journey that you're on. But I am not here to be your one and only. That's not my job. I'm just here to be a helper on the way. So, and that's how we teach the paranormal class too. We just give all the information, the things we learned the hard way that nobody ever told us. And like, oh, well, that probably shouldn't have been done that way. Let's try it this way. And so we're trying to make it easier for people to understand things. And that's what I try to do with all my classes.
So once again, do not put Char on the pedestal. Tonight's episode is all about Char and all of the successes that she's had. So we are going to, from there, why don't we go ahead, take our next break, get that in. There's so much more to talk about. If you have any questions for Char, put them in the comments. I think we'd love to have conversation. And there's a lot more I want to talk about as well. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com. Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information. And join me tomorrow on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun. We are going to have on with us tomorrow Psychic Medium, Refined Divine. Deb is going to be on for one question readings. It's always a great time. Adam will be in to take phone calls, so that's a great way to get in touch. As we always say, if you call in, you get to the front of the line. You can also put your questions in the comments as well. It's always a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it tomorrow. So Deb will be with us tomorrow for one question readings. We have with us tonight, we have Miss Char Savoie of Charvinity Fairs. Don't forget, the next fair is October 18th and 19th over at the Doubletree Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
I got it right. Okay, at 2020 some street. Boulevard,
American Boulevard, Bloomington, Minnesota, right across from IKEA.
A professional would have it up on his screen, and I think that we know where I land in that area there. But folks, you got to go out and check charvinityfairs.com. You go to Facebook, look up Charvinity, and you get all the information there as well. Obviously, we'll be talking about it more as we get closer and closer to the event as well. But we have another event that's coming up just a couple days from now on Thursday, and that would be the 9th. We are doing a investigation that's open. You get tickets over at Divine Lights, in the basement of Divine Lights. Divine Lights is located in the Halloween capital of the world, Anoka. It is the month of Halloween. Why would you not want to take part in this? Join us. We're going to have what we call a candlelight investigation, realistic candles like I have behind me, and but it's really kind of fun. But the best part is the investigation and speaking with spirits and stuff. And Char, it's been a lot of fun so far. I've really enjoyed doing these.
Oh my gosh, it's been so much fun. And that basement is so active. It's crazy. Yeah. And, they're kind of like, wait, you want to talk to us now? Like, what's happening? So it's been a lot of fun. And I enjoy it. I enjoy it every time I do it, but yeah.
And that's the funny thing about it is that, well, funny being a kind of a strange usage of the word. We, as paranormal investigators, I think the interesting part to this is the growth in the amount of activity that we have received at this location since we started, from a point where, not many people are talking to them at all, apart from you, basically, because you actually had your setup down there for a while in a couple different areas, to now, it's like they're becoming more open and trusting and recognizing of us and some of the regulars that come back in. And it's such a great, it really shows how that works and how investigating a location and kind of evolving the whole experience. I think that's really kind of fun.
It is. It's been a lot of fun. And I don't know. I had so many crazy experiences because my space where I do my readings and healing stuff was down in the basement, and I would have so many experiences. So I'm like, firsthand, I know that there are activity down there. So it was really fun that I'm now upstairs, but that would became available for us to go do. So, because I'm like, yes, there's stuff down here. I don't know who or what.
Well, it's funny that two of the areas that you had your setup in both of those areas at one point. Yeah. So yeah. It's folks, we get this all the time when we say what we do, or people see us at events and stuff, and they're always like, oh, I'd love to investigate. I'd love to investigate with you too. I'd love to experience what it is. Here it is. This is it. It's time to do it. And to get tickets, I would recommend, unless you think there's a better way to do it, Char, just go on Facebook, Charvinity, and look under events for Anoka Paranormal Investigation.
Yes. Yep. It is also on the Divine Lights page too. So.
Oh, it is. Oh, great. I didn't know. Okay, cool. So go there as well. And that's another great thing, is go to the Divine Lights page and check out all the practitioners there and everything that they're doing over there. It's been really fun to see that place grow since January of last year, right?
They opened in December of 2023.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I started to kind of talk to them more around in January, so that makes sense then. Yeah, no, and it's been quite fun to see the growth and stuff over there as well. So
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, that's so cool. So what I remembered I wanted to say, and we have about 6 minutes left. What I was going to say about an hour ago that I forgot. I find it also interesting that we have every medium that I've really ever talked to, they always kind of give this offhand comment of like, basically this like, they sometimes wonder if some of the stuff they're getting, they're making up themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I don't think, and it's not because I've never taken it as because they actually think they are, but because it is so profound. I think that's the way I've always looked at it. It's so profound that they're actually getting this like, is this just something I'm making up or is this really happening? It just seems like such a, it's actually I think it's a very humbling statement, to be honest, when a medium says that.
Yeah, well, it's weird because the stuff that comes in, it's like a memory or a thought that is almost like yours. Like it feels like it's coming through, but like this means nothing to me. This has nothing to do with me. This is not my memory. And it's really one of those really tricky things is like the minute that comes in, you have to go with it, because if you take even a few seconds to start to ponder it, your brain wants to make a story out of it. And that's where the ego comes in and starts to tarnish the intuition. So you have to go with that first thing that comes through. So that's for anybody. So to go with the first thought that comes through when something pops in, because that's usually your intuition.
It is, and I've heard it so many times throughout my time working with all sorts of different mediums, and I just such an interesting thing. Now I'm going to ask you, and this is, I don't even know how I'm going to formulate this question because it's kind of a open-ended sort of thing, but what is some changes that you have seen since the time you started to now in general that just maybe brings you the most happiness, or that you find most compelling or profound, or anything that that you just kind of like, wow, okay, this is where I'm at now, or this is what I see now, just either for yourself or for the field itself?
I can only speak for myself, I guess, and maybe this goes for other people too, but when you actually connect for somebody and it means something, it brings them healing, it brings them peace. And even just in a regular card reading where it hits home and you can see like there's an aha moment and like things just like come together. It happens in classes and workshops. Like just when I see like something I said actually made a difference. I think that's the biggest part. And I think maybe for the whole field is when we feel like we make a difference, and not just for the living, for the other side too. There's been moments where we've helped people on the other side that were seriously needing help. And that is a very profound experience.
It is. And, I don't know if this is exactly what you're talking about, but I also feel like validation too is, when you see validation, when you can get validation, and it just, so it, that you're also in the right area, the right direction, that, that what you're, and then I'm looking at it from like a perspective of me using Spirit Box or something, that something comes through and someone can say, yeah, that's correct, or you're picking up something, and then the box picks it up. We've been through this, we've done this on investigations where you're saying something and then the box will reiterate that.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. And that's something that for me personally, it's very profound, because it really goes to show how in sync the system actually is.
Right. And I think it is very validating when that happens, but I think the even more satisfying validation is knowing that I'm doing the right thing. I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Because there's times where it's like, what am I doing here? Like, how did I get here? Like, what's happening? And then something happens and I'm like, okay, I'm in the right place. I think it's really easy sometimes for people that do this where it's not a tangible thing. I mean, I'm just giving information. You get imposter syndrome sometimes,
Absolutely.
so it's validating to know that I am making a difference and I am helping people. And that's really all I want to do.
Yeah, and at least with that, when you're doing readings and stuff too, you can get that that reaction pretty quickly, because some of the stuff that you're going to get is going to blow some people away. They're gonna it's just going to be, and it doesn't have to be profound per se. It could just be like, you knew that that someone's mother used to wear like a lapel pin that was a flower or something, and just saying that suddenly, just all of those memories and emotions, and kind of also being like, she knows, she can see, all that comes flooding together at once. It's pretty incredible. It's pretty
It is. It really is.
I love it. And that's, I will always say, I know a lot of people like to do the thrill ride for paranormal, but to me, there is nothing better than being able to have those validations and help people. And, I'm proud to say, working with you and working with others, that I've done so, really, It's just pretty incredible journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, as we wrap up here, because it's time to go, just want to remind folks, the Charvinity Fair, along with Maria Shaw, you got to go and check out all the stuff that Maria Shaw is doing. And her husband's going to be out there, who is a tremendous paranormal investigator. You have to go check it out. That's October 18th and 19th. Go to charvinityfairs.com. All the information's there. I'll be talking about it more as time goes on, because it's not far away, is it? It's coming up.
No.
You're just like, I know. Why did you have to say that? I know it's coming up.
No, it's wonderful. It's just that for me, it's crunch time to get everything done.
As they say, faster than a speeding bullet. So it's coming at you. Char, congratulations on not giving this up.
Well, thank you.
And enjoy working with you, and more continued success for you. And folks, we'll talk more about Charvinity Fairs. Char, thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for all the stuff that we do together.
Absolutely. We got one question readings tomorrow. Everyone, have a good night.